Awesome. Anybody else want to come up to the top? Raise their hand and got an experience. Want to challenge themselves today? We have Peter that came up to the top. Maybe he wants to do a scenario, wants to practice an experience.
Yeah, good morning, Techy. It's a great day. Yeah, we were having, I would say, sometimes recurring issues of this issue. So I'm the customer, you're the technician, and I'm walking into the store. So, hey, good morning. I was here yesterday, changed had the screen fixed, 6S Plus. And it is extremely, feel it, it's extremely overheating, it's hot. Never did it before, and I also cannot go on my internet.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being a valid customer of ours, and I'm so sorry that you're having this this issue. I would love to see what I can do to help you with it.
So I'm in the store and I'm giving you the phone.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm in the store, so yeah, I give you an hour and have a look at it.
Absolutely, that sounds great. Let me just get your information and so I can get this situated for you immediately and see why this is happening.
Sure. I was here yesterday, so you have my information.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'll take the phone in and kind of go from there.
Yeah, exactly. But what we have, I would say, recurring customers complaining about overheating batteries while you do the screen.
Okay.
And I just want to see how you handle it.
First thing is I always, again, the first approach there is, thank you for being a valid customer of ours. You know what I mean? Like that, you gotta, that's why we start off with It's a Great Day, Techy. Start with the positive, right? Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna take a look at this for you and see what's going on. So sorry that you're, and then condole with them. I'm sorry that you're dealing with this. I understand the importance of getting this resolved as soon as possible, and then just go in the back and try to figure out what we need to do. You don't need to dive into giving them you don't need to diagnose it right there, unless they ask you, like, hey, what do you think the issue may be? Could be, keep it short and sweet. Could be multiple things, but I got a bunch of testing mechanisms in the back that I can run this through and try to get it resolved as soon as possible, and just get to the point where try to get it back there to start looking at it immediately, so we don't go down that rabbit hole of the customer getting upset, getting bothered. You don't want that customer constantly talking about what it could be, why would it do that. You don't want them in front of your store when you have other customers and clients there. You want to keep that positive vibe in the store constantly. So you want to just get to the point on these, try to get it on in. Don't fight with them about, I've seen people sometimes go, I'm going to have to charge you for this to dive into it or whatever. Don't even go down that rabbit hole. Just get strictly, I'll do whatever it takes to help you. Let me get your information and I'll get the ball rolling for you and kind of go down that side of things.
That part is 100% okay.
Yeah.
We don't have any problem. We don't go into any discussions when they come back. Just take it in and see what we can do.
Beautiful.
The thing is that, it was yesterday, this one, but
yeah,
that went well because we could calm down the phone and it was like, okay. But there's just people that after a screen replacement, they start complaining about, I would say, a battery or other stuff. And it is basically how we handle that afterwards. Because she comes back I came back after an hour. And then you have to say, okay, the battery is overheating because of this, or that. You have to give them a reason why they came in because of the battery overheating, and explain, of course, that the battery has not really to do with the screen, but that is a convincing part. That works, but sometimes it doesn't work, or they say, the camera didn't work. It's always the aftermath where it starts like, hey, your battery is going out, and then they say, but it never happened before I had my screen changed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important that you do.
It's more the discussion you sometimes find yourself into, of they are basically complaining about other stuff, and you have to convince them that stuff has nothing to do with it, or you have to charge them.
Yeah, I think 99% of the time you catch that. And how do we catch that? We do our we do a full test before the repair. You know what I mean? So like we dive in and what did the device come in for? Was it were we able to test all the functions before the repair? No, because the screen was totally bad. Well, then that's a different story. You know what I mean? But were we able to dive in and check the Wi-Fi, check the I mean, were we checking the battery percentages with some of the tools that we have, the 3U tools, some of the other things? Those are good upsells. I mean, especially if an iPhone 6s comes in, you know that's an older device. Like you should be thinking immediately, oh, I'm going for a battery upsell right now. You know what I mean? So testing that, and so you'll be able to catch those things. So I think a lot of times where, yes, I agree with you, those things can happen, and those are few and far between. But I think if we do our fully testing the device before we start even fixing the phone or the computer or whatever electronic device we're doing, we'll catch these issues before they get turned over to the customer. And this is vice versa. After you do the repair, test all the components before you turn it over. So I think if we do that every single time, I would say 99.9% of the time, we're going to resolve those issues and we're not going to have those customers come back with these questions. Sometimes it's going to happen, but the majority of the time, again, way more, you're going to catch that and you're going to be able to upsell them right there on the spot instead of going through these issues, you know? So that's what I would say the best way to handle it. But yeah, I mean, look, if for some reason you don't catch it, right? You drop the ball that day. We all make mistakes. We're only human. We forgot to test the functions before and after. I mean, that's a huge no-no, but, you know, it's going to happen sometimes, unfortunately. You know, maybe you were so slamming busy, you weren't able to really kind of give it your all, which we should always try to do. But then it's your, you know, it's your time to shine, right? Like, you just have that, you just locked in that customer and you did the repair for them. You made your initial money off of them, right? If they're super upset, you don't want them leaving and talking bad about you. So sometimes you just got to weigh your options and figure out where you want to be when it comes to continue to help this client and this customer. So on those particular situations, I mean, a battery costs $1, you know. I would say I would throw in a battery or something like that just to kind of, so you don't go down that issue, you know what I mean, where they're not going to want to come back to you again, you know.
That's it.
Peter, thank you. No, thank you for coming up and coming up with the snare. I hope we're bringing value to you guys and you and your team members, and I hope you guys go back and share this with your team members. I'm sure this is happening across the board at all of one of our locations. Maybe even right now, this very moment, somebody's experiencing this exact same thing. So it's important, guys, that we go back to our Google Drives. These are always being recorded and reviewing these. It's so important that we do this. There's so much good information that we're sharing. So